Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. In the brilliant period of '90, R&B Kut Klose rose as a stalwart triplet, conveying many hits under the mentorship of the famous Keith Sweat. Their smooth harmonies and certain ability immediately won them a committed fan base. Yet behind the cleaned exhibitions and graph-besting achievement, a hazier story was unfolding later. Disclosures have revealed insight into the serious battles the gathering looked into, from unseen fits of turmoil to a surprising selling out by Keith Sweat himself. These stunning subtleties have stayed stowed away from the public eye for a really long time. In this video, we'll dive into the untold story of Kut Klose, investigating how they explored the ups and downs of acclaim and the profound individual difficulties that came with it. What truly occurred behind the scenes, and how did Keith Sweat's activities influence the gathering? Every one of the subtleties you need are here in this video. We should make a plunge now, a brilliant period for R&B, a decade that saw the development of a few notorious gatherings who might happen to shape the class scene. Among these, Klose remained as a promising triplet with an unmistakable sound and obvious ability comprising of Athena. Confined Levon Fight and Tabitha Duncan, the gathering oozed a sweet and complex enchantment that caught the hearts of numerous fans anyway. Their excursion from fame to indefinite quality fills in as an obvious up. 8 of the difficulties and traps inside the music business. Kut Klose's climb started with the arrival of their introduction collection, Give Up, which incorporated the hit single I Like the Tune with its smooth vocals and snappy cadence, accumulated critical consideration, and appeared to set the stage for an effective profession. The gathering's initial achievement, anyway, was defaced by a progression of slips, up and sketchy choices that would at last prompt their defeat in a real-life interview with the YouTube channel Halftime Talk. Tabitha Duncan, one of the gathering's individuals, shed light on the inner and outer battles Kut Klose confronted, notwithstanding their endeavors to explore the trustworthy industry, including having their own legal counselor survey contracts. They were met with a cruel reality. Duncan uncovered that the business' complicated web of associations and clashes of interest frequently left new specialists at an inconvenience. This was positively the situation for Kut Klose, whose lawful guides, in spite of their best expectations, neglected to safeguard the gathering's advantages successfully. The most ridiculously obvious problem was the gathering's record bargain, which demonstrated to be a huge stumble. Kut Klose found themselves getting into a 7-collection contract that would demonstrate grievous and especially terrible. Part of the bargain was a distributing understanding that surrendered the gathering's privileges for a simple $1. In the interim, the people who contributed to the formation of their music, including makers and other industry experts, were compensated with significant distributing installments, adding up to $150,000. This unmistakable difference left the bunch feeling taken advantage of and profoundly baffled. Duncan's dissatisfaction was obvious as she described her encounters with Keith Sweat, a noticeable addition to their profession. At first, Perspiration's contribution appeared to be a gift. He was an effective craftsman with a track record of hits, and his mark offered a stage for Slice Klose to send off their professions anyway. What started as a promising open door soon transformed into a wellspring of strain and disappointment. The 7-collection bargain with Sweat's name turned out to be to a greater extent a trouble than an advantage. The youthful, energetic individuals from Kut Klose were maybe not completely ready for the merciless nature of the business, and Sweat's job and their vocation didn't line up with their general benefits. Duncan's relationship with Sweat turned out to be progressively stressed, especially concerning monetary matters. In spite of her endeavors to determine these issues, she saw as nearly nothing. Improvement pin while communicating no individual feelings of spite against Sweat condemned his partiality towards Athena. Confined this partiality exacerbated existing strains inside the gathering, further entangling their as of now turbulent circumstances and the difference between the gatherings. Prospering achievement. Furthermore, the mounting interior and outside pressures are a powerful sign of the frequently inconspicuous battles looked by craftsmen in the background, while Kut Klose made eminent progress with hits like I Like and Sweat's diagram-besting single turned the moves they made to highlight the unforgiving real factors of the music industry. The gathering's inconveniences were intensified by inner conflict, which started to surface even as they appreciated the products of their visiting achievement. Tabitha Duncan, one of the gathering's individuals, straightforwardly reprimanded Keith Sweat, the persuasive figure behind their profession, for his particular treatment of Athena Confine as per Duncan Sweat's choice to take Confine out and about while leaving out Levon Fight and her self-made. Critical divisions and disdain inside the gathering. This partiality added to a developing crack among the individuals, which would, as it were, develop as their circumstances advanced. The erosion inside Kut Klose came to a new level when the gathering made a trip to New York to deal with their second collection. The recording meetings with eminent maker Missy Elliott, a figure known for her imaginative commitments to the type, were intended to be a vital second for the gathering. Rather, they denoted the start of a progression of mishaps that would torment their vocation. During these meetings, the Marks' expectations became extremely clear. They looked to sideline Levon Fight and Tabitha Duncan, zeroing in rather on Athena Enclosure's vocals for the sections and support tracks. This choice left Duncan and Fight scrutinizing their part in the task. What's more, feeling progressively distanced their rejection from key pieces of the It was not only a to-record process proficient misfortune, yet in addition a disaster for their feeling of incorporation and worth inside the gathering. Tabitha Duncan uncovered in her meeting with Halftime Chad that the name's endeavor to rebrand the project as Athena Confine highlighting Kut Klose was a significant disputed matter. This move was not generally welcomed by Duncan Fight or even Enclosure herself, who felt awkward with the expanding center around her as the gathering's sole feature. The arrangement to introduce the collection thusly not just sabotaged the commitments of different individuals, but likewise exacerbated existing pressures. The circumstance decayed further when Duncan learned through a radio declaration that Kut Klose was looking for new individuals. This disclosure was an unmistakable pointer that Keith Sweat was thinking about supplanting Duncan in Fight. The double-crossing was compounded by Athena Enclosure's contribution in gatherings with likely substitutions without the assent or information on her kindred gathering individuals. This demonstration of eliteness and mystery extended the separation and made it clear that the gathering's attachment was unwinding. The aftermath of these occasions was quick and obliterating. The melody recorded with Missy Elliott, which had the possibility to be a significant hit, was never delivered. The absence of attachment and trust inside the gathering, joined with the Marks' manipulative procedures, prompted the deserting of their subsequent collection. This inability to follow through on their follow-up project denoted a basic defining moment in Kut Klose's vocation. By the mid-2000s, the promising direction of Slice Klose had come to a crushing stop. The threesome comprising Athena, Levon, and Tabitha Duncan found themselves trapped in a legally binding mess that smothered their inventive yield and shortened their chances. Their once splendid dreams of fame had darkened under the heaviness of a troublesome record bargain, leaving them battling to earn enough to pay the bills and scrutinizing the commitments of an industry that had bitten them up and spit them out as their agreements approached lapse around 2003. The harm incurred by their underlying arrangements had become agonizingly obvious. Unfit to deliver new music or visit successfully, the gathering was passed on to wrestle with the distinct reality of their circumstance. The high expectations they'd once held on to were supplanted by the ordinary toil of standard positions. A long ways from the stylish existence of melodic achievement, they had imagined the differentiation between their initial yearnings and their ongoing dilemma featured the savage incongruity of the amusement industry, where longs for magnificence can immediately break up into dissatisfaction. Also, battle to completely comprehend the rise and fall of Kut Klose, it is crucial for glance back at the beginnings of the gathering and the foundations of its individuals. Tabitha Duncan, naturally introduced to an enormous group of 15 youngsters and raised by a minister, held on to fantasies about getting away from her severe childhood, looking for opportunity, and opportunity. She moved to Atlanta with her, essentially. Thanks for watching this video.